Welcome to another Azzy's Guide to WvW Basics for Guild Wars 2. Today we're going to cover siege weapons and some of the more elementary concepts and mechanics for how to use siege and when to use siege. To start, I'd like to examine where we get siege weapon blueprints from. You buy them from siege merchants that can be found at your spawn camps, like at the Citadel or one of the border spawn keeps that you come out of. You can also get them from vendors that are upgraded at towers, keeps, and stone mist. With adequate, upgrades there, they will spawn a merchant that could sell siege weapon blueprints, which makes it really convenient. You can also get them at the mercenary camps. I call them mercenary camps. The ogres, the Hylics, and the Drudge or the Mole Men on Eternal Battlegrounds. If you win that NPC camp to your side, they will also have a siege weapon merchant there. The other place you can get it from is the jump puzzles. There's jump puzzles in the Eternal Battlegrounds and also in the Borderlands. And for each jump puzzle you complete, you get, I think, 2 blueprints. Some people say you get more. I've only gotten 2 at a time. And I think you can only get those blueprints once per 24-hour cycle. Just a quick note, the siege weapon merchants can sell you siege blueprints either with silver or with badges of honor. You collect badges of honor as you kill players off, so you accumulate that over time, but you could also use your silver. So there's 2 payment methods. Moving on, let's cover the different mechanics of the siege weapons. I'm not going to cover or do commentary on the cost because these do change. Same thing with supply, and weapons will change over time depending how the game flows, but we'll deal with that later. Anyways, to start off, before we even get into this, I want to say always carry supply on you and always encourage your teammates to carry supply. So just use chat, like map chat or team chat or local chat. Type it in, hey people, carry supply, grab supply. When you're at a supply camp, just say, don't forget to grab supply, type it in. To me, chat is probably the most important tool in World v World. Others may disagree. That's fine, but to me it is because you get your teammates, you get your server mates to help you out and accomplish your goal. Flame rams are designed to tear down gates for towers, keeps, and stone mist. I strongly recommend using a ram versus just trying to beat the gate down with your bare paws. So, yeah, carry supply. Carry flame ram blueprints, drop them, and use them. When you drop flame ram blueprints, be sure to drop them right next to the door. I've seen people drop them too far away and we're out of range. Or I've seen them drop them on a wall, like on top of the wall. I don't know why I was there, but it's pretty funny. So these things will rip doors down, but always note that if there's hot oil built above the gate, you might need to destroy that hot oil first. So it depends. If someone's behind it pouring oil down on your people, you don't want to stand under the oil and bathe in it. And likewise, if you drop the flame ram, it will be destroyed. Arrow carts are good at doing mass AoE damage. They solo, if you have one arrow cart, it might not be super effective. But if you have like 3, 4, 5 arrow carts all shooting down at the same spot, it'll be very devastating. Ballistas are single target DPS. What that means is they are really good at burning down one target really fast. So whether it be a siege weapon or players, ballistas are the way to go. Ballistas are actually, to me, stronger as player killers than arrow carts. However, ballistas also have their downsides, which is they are direct line of sight weapons. You need to target a player in order to hit them. So if there's anything in between you and the player, like a wall, like the lip of the wall, or like whatever angle, if you build it further back on a wall, it may not hit a player. So be sure you build these where they have direct line of sight to a player, especially if you're building it on a wall, because I've built them many times in places where they are blocked by the wall. Yeah. And also note that, there's a 500 range difference between the ballista and arrow cart. So if you're going to build a ballista outside of a whatever, like a tower or keep or whatever, you want to build it a little further higher up and further back out of arrow cart range, but just out of arrow cart range, because then your ballistas could reach the enemy arrow carts on the wall and tear them down. That's one really good thing about ballistas. I think, they're really good at clearing the enemy walls. but you again want height, and again you want to not build them in the arrow cart range. I've seen so many people build them right in arrow cart range and destroyed. Catapults are good AoE damage against walls and gates, but I also think they are really good at clearing the wall. They might not do a lot of damage right off the bat, but if you notice, Ballista, Arrow Cart, these are usually the two main anti-infantry weapons, or even anti-siege weapons that are built on the walls of keeps and towers to defend. And so, because the catapult has a farther range, if you build this out of range of ballistas and of the arrow carts, and because you don't need direct line of sight, because catapults lob their shots, they lob them over the wall. It's a good thing to use probably against ballistas and arrow carts that are already built on an enemy wall. Trebuchets are the king of siege weapons for long range bombardments. They are very good at tearing down walls, gates, and just doing AoE damage to players. They have a phenomenal range, but they do cost a lot of supplies, so you need a lot of teamwork to get these set up. So again, people set up a trebuchet. Again, please do not build catapults and trebuchet within ranges of arrow carts. I've seen this so many times. People will build them like right up against like the wall or close to the wall, and the arrow carts will rip them apart. And so trebuchets, I strongly recommend, are used for longer sieges against a tower or a keep. Usually good against like stone mist. You put them up in good defensive positions and you just lob shots and use these long range shots to destroy the walls, the gates or whatever, or even weapons on top. And then you have the alpha golem. I don't really know how to use these well because they got nerfed really badly. I think by Beta Weekend 3. They're very expensive. They're 1 gold, 100 supply, and they're slow, they're clunky, and their damage that they do to gates have been drastically reduced. These are not melee monsters. They will be ripped apart against, like dagger thieves or whatever. Anyone who does melee could just go up and tear a golem down. These things need a lot of support. They need team members around them protecting them. And what they're really, really probably useful for is tearing down gates that are undefended. So a good example of this is like on the Eternal Battlegrounds. Any of the back door gates for the keeps, the 3 keeps, they have gates right back to each other. And so you build one probably at a supply count, take a while to build them up there, and you walk it over and you tear one gate down and tear the other gate down. Or you could use them in mass, but these things only have like 100,000 hit points. Ballistas do about like 30,000 per hit against siege weapons, so 3 or 4 will tear a golem apart that quick. Very vulnerable right now, and I don't recommend them at the moment. But then again, people might come up with a new strategy that's even more awesome, so we shall see. There are 3 other siege weapons I'd like to talk about, and they're cannons, hot oil, and mortars. So these are obtained through upgrades, through towers, keeps, and castles. Some of them come, like I think keeps and Stone Mist come with hot oil for free, while you still have to upgrade for cannons and mortars. Cannons are the equivalent of arrow carts. They are mass AoE damage against infantry. They can bleed people. They could chill people or kind of slow them down. And I really like cannons because it seems like whenever I jump on one, I could just blow everyone away. Hot oil is designed to just mass AoE heavy damage on players that are right below the wall. They are very important in stopping a Zerg or group of players coming in and destroying your gate. So I really strongly recommend building those up and just having them available just in case your keep gets attacked. And definitely jump on the oil instead of standing inside and shooting down, because they're very effective. If you're fighting against these cannons and hot oil, they're usually on the lip or edge and easily targeted. So just click on them and burn them down really quick, because once they're destroyed, it'll take a while for them to rebuild, and it'll prevent a lot of AoE damage to your players. And I strongly recommend destroying the oil before you build the ram. The last weapon is the mortar. Mortars are the equivalent of trebuchets, and they are kind of there designed to counter the trebuchets that are being built. Mortars are really good at destroying siege weapons that the enemy attackers are using, so because they lob and they do a heavy AoE damage. So mortars are great. I love them. So how does one use a siege blueprint? You go into your backpack, you click on it, and then you the blueprint, and then you gotta lay it down on the ground somewhere where you want to build it, like right here in this video. After you lay it down, you have to go up and F button it or build it up with supply. So if you see here in this video, I am gathering supply and trying to build up this arrow cart. The problem is if the arrow cart build site takes damage while you're building it up, it starts depleting the amount of supply that you have already put into it. So even if the arrow cart costs 30 supply, if it takes more damage, it's going to cost more and more supply. And I'm dead. So again, to reiterate, using chat or local map chat or whatever chat and just coordinating with your teammates is really important, because this is a team-based game, and siege weapons, especially the bigger ones, require a lot of coordination to build up. And so always remember to carry supply, always remind your teammates to carry supply, and always use chat to have people come and help you build weapons. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Other commentary. One thing to really look out for is fighting within arrow cart range. A lot of times players like to stand within arrow cart range for defensive arrow carts, like right here where I'm at Ogre Watch Cut, or the players like to build siege weapons within arrow cart range. God knows why, because the arrow carts will just eat them alive. And if one player goes down, they basically become bait, because other players, out of the goodness of the heart, will kind of try to come and res that player. While they're doing that, I'll just rain arrow carts on them. Rain more and more, not arrow carts, but rain arrows on them. Not good. So that's basically it for the basics of siege weapons in World v World. Unfortunately, I might have missed some stuff, made some mistakes, and I apologize. I'm trying to rush through these videos to get them out before launch. That might not happen, so wish me luck. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and see you next time.
As he screws up, has to record
Again, I keep dropping ballistas.
Off the wall into oblivion.
Oh, I did that
Hopefully
too. Yeah,
you should
that
put
was
that in as a
bad.
bug report.